Hey, what's up, everybody? If you're enjoying the video, please hit that subscribe button and give a thumbs up. And don't forget to ring that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. It really helps support the channel and allows me to keep creating content for you guys.
My wedding day. Everyone said it was like a scene from a fairy tale. White dress, flowers everywhere, Min-joon's smile. It all felt like the start of a perfect dream. Moving into his family home after the ceremony was supposed to be the next chapter of that dream. A big, traditional house, filled with generations of love, they said. Love. That word feels like a cruel joke now. The first few days were overwhelming. Husband's mother fussed over me constantly, offering food, asking if I was comfortable, her smile wide and a little too bright. Husband's father, quiet, observing everything with eyes that seemed to miss nothing. And then there was Mi-kyung, Min-joon's older sister. My sister-in-law. She was fixated. From the moment I walked in, suitcase in hand, she was staring. Not at me exactly, but at my clothes. "Oh, Sua," she'd said, her voice a little too high-pitched. "That dress is so youthful. So vibrant." It was just a simple floral dress I'd worn for the drive. I laughed it off, thinking she was just being friendly, welcoming me into the family. But then it kept happening. Every outfit I unpacked, every new piece of clothing she saw, was met with the same intense scrutiny. Compliments that felt sticky, like honey that wouldn't wash off. "That color really suits you, Sua. So fresh. You have such a modern style. So different from what we usually see around here." I started to feel watched. Not in a warm, familial way, but like an object on display. And it wasn't just my clothes. It was my makeup, my jewelry, even the way I styled my hair. Mi-kyung would stand too close, examining me with a disconcerting intensity in her eyes. One afternoon I couldn't find my new silk scarf. The emerald green one Min-joon had given me for our anniversary just last week. I searched everywhere. My closet, the drawers, even under the bed. Nothing. Finally I went downstairs. Mi-kyung was in the living room, chatting with husband's mother. And around her neck, my scarf. "Oh, Sua," she exclaimed, touching the scarf as if just noticing it herself. "Isn't this beautiful? I just borrowed it. For a moment. I was just admiring the color." She laughed, a light tinkling sound that didn't reach her eyes. "You have such lovely things, Sua. So new." I forced a smile, my heart pounding a strange rhythm against my ribs. "It's okay," I said, my voice sounding too tight, too polite. "Just, please ask next time." She just smiled wider, a smile that felt hollow. "Of course, dear. Of course." But something felt terribly wrong. A seed of unease had been planted, and it was starting to sprout, twisting and turning in the pit of my stomach. This dream, it was starting to feel like a nightmare in disguise. The scarf incident, it was just the beginning. Borrowing became a regular occurrence. It started with small things, a hair clip, a bracelet, a cardigan. Then it escalated. My dresses, my blouses, even my shoes started disappearing from my closet, only to reappear on Mi-kyung, always with that same disingenuous surprise, that same hollow smile. "Oh, Sua, is this yours? I must have accidentally picked it up. You know how forgetful I am these days." Forgetful? Or deliberately invasive? I tried to talk to Min-joon. "Appa," I'd say, using the affectionate term, hoping to soften the blow. "Mi-kyung keeps borrowing my clothes. Without asking. It's making me a little uncomfortable." He'd just wave his hand dismissively. "Egu Sua, you're being too sensitive. He's just admiring your style. He's probably just trying to connect with you. Family bonding, you know." Bonding? It felt more like appropriation. Like she was trying to absorb something from me, something I couldn't quite name. Husband's mother, when I hesitantly mentioned it to her, just chuckled. "Mi-kyung has always been like that. A little envious. Don't take it to heart, Sua. She means no harm." No harm. But the constant violation of my personal space, the subtle but persistent feeling of being watched, judged, copied, it was suffocating me. It wasn't just the clothes anymore. It was everything. Mi-kyung started mirroring my mannerisms. The way I laughed, the phrases I used, even the way I poured tea. It was like living with a distorted reflection of myself. A reflection that was slowly, subtly trying to replace the original. And the gaslighting, it was insidious. If I dared to express my discomfort, I was met with raised eyebrows, wounded looks, accusations of being selfish. of being unwelcoming to family. Are you saying you don't want your own sister-in-law to admire you, Suah? Is that how you treat family? Husband's mother would say, her voice dripping with disappointment. I started hiding my favorite clothes, tucking them away in the back of my closet, hoping to keep anything for myself. But it was never enough. Mi-kyung seemed to have an uncanny ability to find everything. It was like she was searching my room when I wasn't there. The thought sent a shiver down my spine. One evening I came home early from visiting my own mother. The house was quiet. Too quiet. I went upstairs to change and I saw it. My closet door slightly ajar. And a faint sound, rustling, coming from inside. I pushed the door open wider, my heart hammering in my chest. And there she was. Mi-kyung. Standing in my closet, surrounded by my clothes, holding my favorite red dress in her hands. Her eyes widened when she saw me, but there was no surprise in them. Only a cold, calculating look. Suah, she said, her voice low and almost husky. I was just organizing. Your closet was a little messy. Organizing? At night? In my closed closet? I stared at her, speechless. The air in the room felt thick, suffocating. And in that moment I realized it wasn't just about the clothes. It was about control. About power. Mi-kyung wasn't just envious. He was playing a game. A game I didn't understand but knew with a chilling certainty that I was losing. My voice, my identity, my very sense of self. It was all being slowly, systematically erased. And I was trapped in this beautiful house, this picture-perfect family with a predator in disguise. The red dress incident. It was the crack in the dam. I couldn't pretend anymore. I started locking my closet door whenever I left the room. A childish act, maybe, but it was the only way I could feel even a sliver of control over my own life. Of course, Mi-kyung noticed. The subtle hints, the pointed questions started. Are you hiding something from me, Suah? Why is your closet always locked now? She'd ask, her eyes narrowed, her smile gone. The mask was starting to slip. One Saturday night, Min-joon and I were supposed to go out for dinner. I'd chosen a new black dress, elegant and simple, and laid it out on the bed. I went to take a shower, feeling a rare flicker of hope that maybe, just maybe, we could have a normal evening, away from the suffocating atmosphere of the house. When I came out of the bathroom, the dress was gone. Vanished. My closet was locked. The dress wasn't in the bathroom, not on the bed, nowhere in sight. Panic seized me. Where could it have gone? And then a faint sound from downstairs. Music. Music I didn't recognize. Laughter. Mi-kyung's laughter. I crept down the stairs, my bare feet silent on the polished wood. The living room was dimly lit, only a single lamp casting long, eerie shadows. And there she was. Mi-kyung. But not just Mi-kyung. He was transformed. She was wearing my black dress. My dress. But it wasn't just the dress. It was the makeup. Dark, smoky eyes, bold red lipstick, a style I had never seen her wear before. It was my style. The style she had been so obsessively studying, copying, appropriating. And she wasn't alone. A man was standing with her, his back to me. Tall, broad shoulders, dressed in a sharp suit. They were laughing, close together, intimate. And then he turned. It was Min-joon's father. My husband's father. My father-in-law. My world fractured. Shattered into a million pieces. The pieces of the fairy tale, the dream, the perfect family. All gone. Replaced by a horrifying, grotesque reality. Mi-kyung, and husband's father. Together. In my dress. My style. Stealing not just my clothes but my life. My husband's father, with his own daughter. In my clothes. Years of subtle manipulations, of gaslighting, of feeling like I was going crazy. It all clicked into place. The strange looks, the hushed whispers, the overbearing kindness of husband's mother. It was all a carefully constructed facade. To cover up this monstrous secret. Rage, raw and untamed, surged through me. Years of suppressed frustration, of silent fear, of feeling like I was disappearing, it all erupted. I lunged forward, my voice a strangled scream. What is going on here? Mi-kyung recoiled, her painted smile twisting into a mask of fury. Husband's father turned, his face pale, his eyes wide with shock and something else. Guilt? Or just anger at being caught. Suah, what are you doing here? Mi-kyung spat, her voice laced with venom. How dare you interrupt? Interrupt? Interrupt what? Their secret rendezvous? Their twisted incestuous affair? This is my dress. I screamed, pointing at her, my hand shaking uncontrollably. And you are with my husband's father. What is wrong with you? Husband's father's hand lashed out, striking me across the face. The force of the blow sent me stumbling back, pain exploding across my cheek. Silence, you disrespectful girl, he roared, his face contorted with rage. You will not speak to my daughter like that. His daughter who was wearing my dress in his arms in the dead of night? The hypocrisy, the sheer audacity, it was beyond comprehension. My breaking point. Everything inside me snapped. Tears streamed down my face, blurring my vision, but I stood my ground. I'm leaving, I choked out, my voice trembling but firm. I'm leaving this insane family. I can't stay here. Not another minute. I turned and ran blindly back up the stairs, back to the supposed sanctuary of my room. But there was no sanctuary here. This house was poisoned, tainted by their secret, by their lies, by their betrayal. I threw open my closet, grabbed the first suitcase I could find and started throwing clothes into it, not caring what, just needing to escape. Footsteps pounded up the stairs. Husband's mother, her face a mask of cold fury, burst into the room. Sua, what is the meaning of this? How dare you cause such a scene? Her voice was sharp, accusatory. She wasn't concerned about her husband, about her daughter, about the monstrous secret that had just been exposed. She was angry at me for disrupting their carefully constructed lie. I know everything, I said, my voice flat, devoid of emotion. I saw them. Mi-kyung and your husband. Together. In my dress. Husband's mother's face didn't even flicker. You're mistaken. You're imagining things. You're stressed, you're tired. You're misunderstanding a simple family moment. Misunderstanding? Simple family moment? Don't lie to me, I said, my voice rising again, desperation creeping in. Don't insult my intelligence. I saw them. With my own eyes. She sighed, a long, theatrical sigh. All right, Sua, perhaps there was a moment of weakness. A moment of comfort between father and daughter. But you are blowing it out of proportion. It means nothing. It's nothing. Nothing. It was everything. It was the reason for the clothes, for the obsession, for the suffocating atmosphere of this house. It was the dark secret that had poisoned everything, everyone. I slammed the suitcase shut. I'm leaving, I repeated, more forcefully this time. And I'm telling Min-joon everything. Husband's mother's eyes narrowed. A cold, calculating look replaced the feigned concern. You won't, she said, her voice low and dangerous. You won't tell anyone. Because if you do, you will regret it. Regret it? What more could I regret? My life here was already a living hell. But then I saw it. A flicker in her eyes. Something cold, something menacing. And a chilling realization washed over me. This wasn't just about clothes or jealousy or even a twisted affair. This was about power. About control. And about something far darker, far deeper than I could have ever imagined. And then I heard it. A soft click. The sound of a door opening downstairs. Not the front door. But the back door. The door that led to the garden. The door that Mi-kyung had used to sneak out. And in that moment I knew. She wasn't just sneaking out to meet my husband's father. She was running. Running away from something. And she had used my clothes, my identity, to disappear. Leaving me behind. Trapped in their web of lies, their secrets, their darkness. And I was still wearing her clothes. The clothes she had discarded, the clothes she no longer needed. The clothes that now felt tainted. Like a second skin, a suffocating shroud, binding me to a nightmare I could never truly escape.